Apes and ape bets, welcome back to the channel. I hope you got your Z's in over this weekend because it is going to be a long week and you guys better be ready to go. In this video, we're going to talk about everything you guys need to know, including economic data that is going to move the market substantially in one direction or the other. That's also going to affect AMC. We're going to go over the technical analysis around AMC, obviously the Ortex data, the institutional order flows, as well as the short interest. We're going to go over the max Payne as well as the Stocko tracker data. We're going to go over the earnings that could also move the markets as well, and the fact that crypto has been rallying over this past weekend. So I do think that could be an indication of what is to come for the markets. And finally, we will go over a price prediction for AMC using all of this data, putting that all together and coming up with a reasonable price prediction by the end of the week. So if you guys find value or simply entertainment out of this video, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, as well as comment down below. But make sure you hit this like button if you do own at least one single share of AMC. I want to see how many people own AMC. So that's very, very important that you guys do that. Now, if you guys also want access to all of my trades in real time and join a great trading community, check that link out pinned in the top comment. We have been killing it over there. We hit the Facebook puts, the Snapchat calls, the Ford puts. We had a lot of trades last week. We usually do. So check that out if you guys do want to. You can ask me any questions over there. If you don't know anything about options, if you just want to test the waters per se, you can come ask those questions over there. So let's dive into this video. First and foremost, AMC did have a strong day on Friday, up 3.23% in regular trading, up 0.5% after hours, and it looked like everything in the markets did get a boost in after hours. At least a lot of things that I like to pay attention to. A lot of your technology, a lot of your more growth stocks did get a move in after hours. Even Facebook had a pretty decent move throughout the day, but in after hours on the SPY, we actually went down 0.01%. So some things didn't get that boost in after hours, but a lot of things did. Now, as far as AMC is concerned, we have a lot to get into, so I'm going to have to kind of get through this stuff fast, but we're going to go over the data around AMC first, and then the technicals, and then the price prediction and the economic data. So let's dive into the option flow for institutional investors on AMC. So we're seeing March 18th, February 11th, February 4th, March 18th, February 18th. You're seeing a lot of short-term trades from institutional investors that are being put on. A lot of the dollar amounts, the large dollar amounts, are in puts. So you're actually seeing 29% positive order value over the last week. So not very much at all. And the hedge funds and institutions, they're using the option chain to artificially short the stock because, as we do know, when puts are bought in the money, obviously the market makers have to go out on the open market and short stock to account for those puts so they don't lose money. Right? The deeper in the money those puts are, the closer their break even is. So the more shorting that has to happen. And that's a big reason I think AMC is just sitting and chilling around $15 per share. It really doesn't want to go under that. It really doesn't want to go too far above that. I think a lot of that is the institutional orders that are coming through. But you are seeing a lot of calls for January 2023. You're seeing this over and over again, the $5 calls for January 2023. Here's $273,000 order for those calls. And if we could take it all the way back to like last week and the week before that, ever since I started tracking this, you see a lot of that money for the call side being placed on January 20th, 2023. So hedge funds are going short on AMC in the short term, but they're going long on AMC in the longer term. But I personally think that's a very stupid decision to bet on AMC going down at this moment, since we have already fallen so much. You can only beat a horse so much until it dies, right? Now, as far as the short interest of free float, we're sitting at highs since June, sitting at 21.73%. Current short interest, current short shares of 111.54 million. Cost to borrow max is going up, now sitting at 3.94%, which is almost double from where it was just a couple of days ago. So that is very encouraging. Share utilization is staying pretty much the same. We've seen a nice move up. Now it's sitting at 80.16%. It used to be at around 60%. So we've seen a decent move to the upside as far as share utilization. Days to cover 2.54. So all of that looking very good. The shorts are just in over their heads. And I think the fact that the short interest is still climbing as the stock is sitting at $15 per share is showing you that there's not too many sellers left in the stock. They're shorting the stock, but there's not too many sellers left. You've probably heard of this before. Once a stock gets beaten down so far, like Facebook, it's only going to drop so much because there's only so many sellers left in that stock. Once the sellers dissipate, then that's when you do see that move to the upside. And I think that's where we're sitting at with AMC right now, but almost 22% short interest. That's going to give us a substantial rally when that rally does come. Now, as far as the Stocko Tracker data, you're looking at 3,600 calls that are in the money for next week. Not very much, and not very many calls that are out of the money as well. Only 65,000. We are seeing 40,000 puts that are in the money and 23,000 puts that are out of the money. So it's not a very large amount, but you are seeing a lot of puts that are in the money from these institutional investors and very few calls that are in the money. So what can happen, like I've said all the time, many times here on this channel, is that if we do see a move to the upside, since there is very little calls in the money, you'll see those calls from out of the money start to go into the money, and you'll see the puts run from into the money out of the money. That is two forms of buying power the market makers have to hedge for. So would translate into the price of the stock going up, essentially a small gamma squeeze. Now, as far as the max Payne is concerned, you're looking at $18 per share. I've got a lot of questions about this, and the max Payne is essentially, just to break this down in about 30 seconds, is the dollar amount, the price, like in this case $18 by the end of the week, where the most option holders lose money. So that's where the market makers like to try to pin the stock, and this upcoming week is at $18 per share. And we'll talk about that when we do get into the price target, but that's essentially what the max Payne means. Now, as far as notable earnings that are coming up, you have Take-Two Interactive. They own GTA, and there was actually a rumor they are now creating GTA 6. If that is announced on their earnings call, that might send the stock skyrocketing, because that's one of the most successful games or franchises of games of all time. So watch that. There could be a potential trade there. Pfizer, BP in pre-market Tuesday. Peloton, Chipotle, Corsair, Lyft in after hours Tuesday. Now, before open, you see Honda, Canopy Growth, not anything that's going to move the markets, but after hours on Wednesday, that's when you're going to see some stocks that could definitely move the markets. You're looking at Walt Disney, so that's going to move the markets. Uber definitely in the past has moved the markets. So those are going to be the two big ones. Thursday before open, you have Twitter, Coca-Cola, AstraZeneca, and those are going to be the ones that can move the markets on Thursday. Affirm and after hours, which is becoming a more notable name. I don't think that's going to move the markets, but it is going to show consumer debt, consumer demand, all of that. And then Friday, you do have Under Armour. So a couple notable names here that could move the markets, but nothing too crazy. We're going to have a lot more earnings as well, but these are the larger companies. So that's the scoop as far as that is concerned. Now, as far as the economic data, so you're looking at for Monday, you do have nothing too crazy, but you do have consumer credit change at 3 p.m. and then you do have treasury auctions at 11:30 a.m. and those do tend to move the bond market, which tends to move the stock market. Now, on Wednesday, you do have quarterly report on household debt and credit at 11 p.m. That could move the markets. You do have exports and imports for December for the U.S. That could also move the markets on Tuesday as well. For Wednesday, nothing too crazy. Mortgage applications, that could move the markets as well. That's for 7 a.m. Now, the big catalyst is going to be on Thursday. You have an inflation rate year over year, and you do have the core inflation rate year over year as well. The monthly inflation rate for January at 8:30 a.m. So Thursday is going to be the day where you could see a huge move. A 2% move up or down would not surprise me. If inflation comes in lower than expected, I do expect to see a bullish reaction. If it comes in higher than expected, then you're going to see a sell-off, as the Fed will have no choice to act even more aggressively. This is going to force the Fed's hands, and markets are not going to interpret that greatly. They're not gonna like that at all. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens coming on Thursday. Be mindful if you guys have any trades or anything. The expected inflation rate is 7.3%. So if that comes in less and we see our first tick down in a while, that could be good. Not expected, but I don't think it's going to come in too high over 7.3%. If it comes in at 7.5%, yeah, you're going to look at some pain. If it comes in at 7.2%, probably still going to see some pain. If it comes in at, say, 7% or 6.9% for whatever reason, then the markets could rally off of that. So that is really the scoop. That's what you guys need to know as far as the technical analysis is concerned. If we do pull up the Bollinger Bands, we can see the 20-day simple moving average is sitting at $18.12 per share. So it's not going to take a big rally to break out past our resistance level, which has been this 20-day simple moving average back here since late November. So if we do get a rally and break out above 18, we could actually fly to about $23 per share. Keep that in mind. As far as the MACD, we are bullish on the MACD now, which is a good sign. Historically, if you bought the stock when the MACD went bullish, you would have made money, and you sold it when it went bearish, you would have saved yourself from losing a lot of money. So those are really the two main indicators that I like to use. As far as the volume is concerned, we're still sitting at very low volume, which does suggest to me the sellers are really gone from the stock, and we're sitting at that support level at about $15 per share. It's going to take a full-on market liquidation to really crater us under 15 to push us down to $12 or $10. That's really your worst case scenario, $10 to $12. I don't think that's going to happen. If it does, the markets are going to be in a lot of pain in general. Now, as far as my price prediction, it does look like we're starting to see a reversal with the MACD. We did see a bullish day on Friday, and we do have some time until the CPI numbers come out. So I think by Thursday, it's very possible that we could be in between $16.50 per share and $17 per share. That's going to be my estimate. Not a huge move from here, about $1 to $2 to the upside from here, but still nevertheless a good thing to see if that does happen. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, like I said, link down below in the pinned comment. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, all of that good stuff. Love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.